Today, we are going to start solving these by factoring them. Okay? It's not that bad. Okay? We've done a whole chapter of factoring, and actually today is, you don't even have to factor it. Today is going to be factored for you, and so that's kind of nice. Okay? Now, there is something called the zero product property. Okay? And all that means is anytime I multiply something by 0, my answer is going to be 0. Okay? So, if you remember, if I had x squared plus 6x plus 8, okay, if we're looking for solutions to our quadratic, what are we looking for? We are looking for where it crosses the x-axis. And where it crosses the x-axis, what is 0? The x or the y? The y is 0. Okay, so that's why a lot of times we set this equal to 0. Okay, so sometimes you see it as y equals, sometimes you see it as equals 0. And the reason why we set it equal to 0 is because we're looking for where does this equal 0 when we're finding the solutions. Does that make sense? Okay, so if we're going to factor this guy, it factors into, how do I get to x squared? X and x. How can I get to 8? 4 times 2, right? Does 4 plus 2 get me to 6? So 4 and 2, so plus and plus, and those equal 0. So if either one of these, because I'm multiplying, right? Okay, if either one of these equals 0, and we're multiplying, what's the whole thing going to be? 0. Okay? Well, because we just talked about it. This could be y, because remember how a lot of times we see this equals y? Okay, but we want y to be 0, right? So we're plugging in for y, we're going to make it a 0. Okay? So, how we solve those, because we just want each one of them to be 0, is we set each one equal to 0. Okay? So right here I have two factors. I have x and x minus 4. Right? I'm going to set each one equal to 0. So I'm going to set x equals 0. And I'm going to set x minus 4 equals 0. Now I just have to solve them. Okay, is this one already solved? Yeah, x equals 0. So that's one of my solutions. My other solution is, how do I solve this? Plus 4 and x equals 4. So my solutions to this are x equals 0 and x equals 4. Some of you aren't writing this down. I'm not sure why. I get so confused. Ask it. Well, because that's where it crosses the x-axis. So it crosses. So this is saying that it crosses at 0, and it crosses at 4. So it would look something like that. So most of the time you're going to get 2. How many else could you get? 1 or 0. Have we ever had this cross in 3 places? No. Okay, so it can't be 3 because remember our number of solutions are either 2, 1, or 0. Okay? If my vertex is right here on the x-axis, that's the only spot that it crosses. Okay? All right, so this one, how do I set this one up? I have to write it as, my first factor is x plus 3 equals 0, and x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, so, so now we have to solve this. So minus 3 and minus 3, so x equals negative 3. But how do I solve it? minus 2 and minus 2, so x equals negative 2. So my two x-intercepts are negative 3 and negative 2. Okay? Told you that it's not super hard, is it? All right, so how are we setting these guys up? X minus 4 equals 0. X plus 2 equals 0. And x minus 3 equals 0. So here we have x equals 4, x equals negative 2, and x equals 3. And yes, I understand that there's 3 solutions. This isn't a quadratic. Yes, sir. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Guys, you got to be used to in your lives dealing with decimals. Okay, do you always have a full tank of gas? I don't think so. Okay, sometimes you have half a tank of gas. That's a decimal. Sometimes you've got a quarter tank of gas. I think that's about what I've got right now. Maybe even an eighth a tank. I got to stop. Okay, but you deal with fractions and decimals every single day. Okay, does class always start at the top of the hour? No, sometimes it starts at 9:30. Okay, that's a decimal. Okay, you guys have to not be so reliant on using whole numbers all the time. Christian. Well, it's 9.5. Yeah. All right, so what are my equations going to be here? X minus 3 equals 0. X plus 7 equals 0. I need to see these two equations on your assignment. Okay? So then when you solve it, when they're simple ones like this, I'm okay with you guys not necessarily showing all your work, because x equals 3 and x equals negative 7. I'm okay with you not drawing the line down and going plus 3. But if I check your work and you're getting your signs mixed up, I'm going to make you start showing that. Okay? So be careful with that. All right, so my two equations here. Y minus 8 equals 0. Y minus 1 equals 0. So y equals 8. Y equals 1. Okay, this guy? C plus 5 equals 0. C minus 5 equals 0. So C equals negative 5. C equals 5. Yeah, they shouldn't be super hard. Okay, do this guy. Anybody get A? Nobody? Anybody get B? No. Anybody get C? So you're trying to tell me that the answer is D? Okay. So remember on your assignment, I need to see the x minus 2 equals 0 and the x plus 4 equals 0. Okay. So x equals, oh, no, just kidding. X equals 2, x equals negative 4. I know, right? I'm going to have to start showing my work. Yes. Okay. And that's where we kind of get into this. All right. What does this mean? X minus 2 squared, which means we had to rewrite this as x minus 2 and, no, x minus 2. It's two of these. We don't change it, because when it's squared, it's the exact same thing. Okay, now, when I do these, so when I have x minus 2 equals 0 and x minus 2 equals 0, am I going to get two of the same answers? Yes. Okay, so I just have to do one of them. So plus 2, so you guys told me I had to show my work because I screwed up. So x equals 2. Nope, just x equals 2. Okay, because this is that case where my vertex is at the 2 and it only has one solution. Okay, this is that case. Pretty much, yep. Okay, so this one, we've got y plus 3 and y plus 3 equals 0, so we got to go y plus 3 equals 0. We get y equals negative 3. Okay, we had a question about this one. We've got 2x plus 4 equals 0. 2x plus 4 equals 0. Now it's just basic, okay, solving. What do I have to do first? No, what do I have to do first? Subtract 4. So I subtract 4 first. I've got 2x equals negative 4. Now what? Divide by 2. X equals negative 2. Okay? Remember, you always add and subtract first, then multiply or divide. Okay, ooh, that's kind of fun. All right, do this one. Yeah, I know. Craziness. On the first one, what do you have to do first? What do you have to do on the first one? You have to add 1, guys. They're subtracting 1. You do the opposite. So we add 1. 2x equals, well, no, 2x equals 1. Now what do we do? Divide by 2. So x equals 1/2. See, Dylan, sometimes we're going to get fractions. X equals negative 2 and x equals negative 3. That matches with the. Okay? Do you think you guys can handle this?